This is the Odra River. This is a location called Trestno. It's a village to the southeast of Wrocław, but within the, I would say, giving a London analogy, within the M25, within the ring road of Wrocław. But you can see we're absolutely out in the countryside. So the river here, absolutely, I have never seen it this high before, but there still is a little bit of leeway. Having said that, it's got another 24 hours to rise, and the way that waters rise during flooding, I only have it described to me. I don't know, I haven't gone through it myself, but it happens extremely quickly. Now we'd hope that because of the huge floodplain that's here, and I'll just show you a little part of it in this video, then I would hope there'd be plenty of space for the water to go up, but not for the inhabitants of this village who are directly on the riverbank. And as you can see here, they're now already preparing here. There's a wall done down there. It's about 70 centimeters high, something like that. Might give some protection. I didn't want to film them as they were working, didn't want to put them off. And but the speed of the river as well is absolutely noticeable. It's really fast at the moment. I have never seen it like this. I have filmed at this spot before. In fact, when I've been taking B-roll for films that I might need for a history video or something like that, but I've never seen it flowing this quickly in the past. Now, there's a pump they've got working out there. You might be able to hear it. That's clearly they're trying it out. Anyway, so people are working down there. I'm now going to take you down this dike to give you an idea, because the dike system around here is very complicated. It's not just a matter of one, but there's lots and lots of them. This, what I'm walking on now, is actually a dike. It mightn't look it because it's not very high. The slope down there is what, maybe 1.50 meters, something like that. On the left hand side it is much deeper. There we have a building which is clearly over 100 years old, and we have another building up here as well which clearly dates to German times. That's probably from the 19th century. There's a bus going past. So in this area, after the floods of 1997, there were huge areas prepared to take the water in, and they use the Dutch word polder, is used now in Polish as well. And the idea is this huge area which can be flooded to the south of Wrocław means that hopefully the centre of the city won't get flooded as it did in 1997. Now, as far as this flood's concerned, today is Tuesday. On Friday, the storm hit, the skies broke. I was driving, I was in Nordhausen, and got a phone call, asked if I could be back here because of a business meeting today. And so I said I'd come back immediately so we can start sorting things out. And anyway, Friday night I was driving around the Leipzig, it's not quite the ring road, but the motorway south of Leipzig. Then it hit, wow, lots and lots of rain, and poured down and poured down and poured down. It didn't stop for, I don't know, 24 hours more or less. Yeah, no, I'm exaggerating a bit now. So Mike is about 15 hours. There you see, wał means dike, przeciwpowodziowy means anti-flooding, and you're not allowed to do certain things like drive down it. You're not allowed to dig in it. Well, I think it sounds you can't put any bushes or trees in here either. Anyway, so you can see it's not a particularly large flood area, but what's happened here is as we come into this town, we've got these prepared sandbags here, and there's still got the name of the town, and there's lots of people working on this. So we can see from here, I'll put the camera in a bit closer, you can see the size of the sandbagged wall which is being dug there. There's lots of people, I bet they're all volunteers, most of them will be from the local town, and they're helping put this together. See, the police are here as well. Police arrived just as I was walking down here as well. Now this is around, I'll put the thing out again, put the wide angle on now. This is around what, 5-6 kilometers by road from where I actually live. The river is about 2 kilometers away, but the system of dikes is such that, well, I'm not worried in the slightest, but then again, I'm not living on the river as these people are. So, and there's my bicycle, and if it'd been in a situation like in 97, I wouldn't have been worried either, but then I didn't know what the consequences could be. Now the polder areas can be sort of left fallow as we have over here. Sorry, I can't explain about agriculture either, but or they can be used for growing crops. Last night I went out for a walk along the dike near to where I live, and the farmers were bringing in the harvest. And I thought, that's what they're doing that at nightfall under lights. But this morning I realised they wanted to get the harvest in before the water got in and destroyed it. And so for them, that would be a huge amount of cash. Now on Sunday, and when it was still raining, the dike close to where I am, it was, I didn't want to walk on it. It was water, all of it. Now, one thing that's important to say about when a dike breaks, the reason for it breaking is not because water gets over the top, which seems like the logical answer. It breaks because water gets into it, under it. So the dike is weakened from below or from the middle, but not from the top. Now sometimes it can break, obviously, if it gets to the top, but it normally does that though because it's been so much weakened below. Now there is a technological solution to this problem, and that technological solution is to provide metal cages. You often see these by the sides of mountain roads, for example, and you fill them with rocks. Now this is technology which has been done since the times of the ancient Egyptians. So we're looking at 4,000-year-old technology, but if it works, it works. And these rocks are placed into these cages, which are then buried under the dikes, and that really strengthens the dike to stop it breaking. Now the dikes are set up in such as a way as that water can be directed to one side or the other side. So they've got the dike I'm on now, so water could be directed here or here, although presumably they wouldn't want it directed here because the village is down there. One of the questions always is, why would anybody want to live in a flood plain, flood zone? Well, many people don't have a choice because that's just the way it is. You've got major cities, including London, for example, which are built on rivers which could flood. Now, I went to London just before the Thames barrier was actually opened, and then even there were flood drills. Obviously, I don't suppose they happen any longer, but these things must happen in major cities. You see, when the Rhine can flood. In the case of the Rhine, it's more dangerous because the Rhine is a highly controlled river, almost as though it were canalized all the way along, whereas the Odra, the Oder, or the Vistula are not. They sort of meander along as they want. And so the risk of flooding from those that meander along as they want is much greater. But for the flooding that comes from a river which has been prepared, a canalized river if you like, when that floods, it's a much greater disaster. Now if I turn the camera around here to see this village, you can see Trestno. You've got the old church but some of these buildings are new, and certainly there's huge benefits from living by the side of the river. The sports and things of this nature, but not when it comes to a flood. Now, there was flooding on the Vistula River in 2010, and I went round. I've still got the videos on my website, and unfortunately not very good, but that was YouTube at the time, and me, of course, for not getting yourself a better camera. But in 2010, that was the last great flood, and to me, to actually see your own home, your own block of flats boarded up with sandbags, I mean, that sort of really brought it home to me. So see, lots of people have come in here by cars. I was a student. I lived in France, and there was a time when the river Rhone was likely to flood, and the place I was living on, I lived in an island in the river Saône. Sorry, I was at the Saône. Was like, I can't remember if it was the Saône or the Rhone, so I meet at Lyon. Anyway, Saône was likely to flood, and the place I was living, there was this lady, and she was a pretty unpleasant woman. But anyway, they had to move all of the stuff from downstairs up to the first floor. I never actually saw it, but I remember her coming back, and she said to me, the amount of work that had to be done. And this is the situation that these people here now face. Huge amounts of work, or to lose their life's work, life's possessions. This is the thing, once a flood hits, that's it, it's all gone. You know, it's one thing losing a few books, but if you lose your wedding photographs, you know, from 1952, I don't suppose it's very pleasant. There'll be no other record of it. Everything will be gone. A friend of mine, Toiver Blatt, he escaped from Sobibor, Nazi death camp in 1943. Anyway, there was a fire. His daughter said to him, what needs saving? And he said, oh, just let it all burn. I can start again. And that was in the foothills above Santa Barbara in California. But for these people here, and I see the thing, older people, they could have lived in a house, might have lived in the same place for 70 years nearly, and then to see it all destroyed. So I do feel for the people in the south, Wrocław, Londexdrwy. A friend of mine spoke to the mayor in Londexdrwy this morning, and he's organised assistance there, and he said the mayor thought everything was destroyed. And well, see places where in the high street, Wrocław, the high street, 2 meters of water. 2 meters of water in a high street, and it happened so quickly. Anyway, I've done these videos here just to show other people how the effort, what's going on, and here in Poland, to try and put it into some kind of context. I do want to point this out as well. Look, this is all part of the floodplain, but it is being used for agriculture. And I want to read this sign. This sign is here all the time. And oh no, this is about the protection of water. Anyway, so this is me in Poland, Lower Silesia, Trestno, to the southeast of Wrocław, signing out, and thanks for watching.